Aaron, this is weighty and historic. A former president charged with obstruction and conspiracy and espionage. The first time a former president has ever been charged with federal charges.
It is an extraordinary moment for the country, Bill, because former President Trump is the first former American president to be charged by the government that he was once elected to lead. And when he appears here at U.S. District Court in Miami on Tuesday of next week, he's going to be placed under arrest by the government that he once led, booked, processed as a federal defendant before he enters a plea to those charges of not guilty. And at that point, the full indictment will be unsealed, and we'll get a look at the full scope of what the former president is facing.
A lot of people wondering why the Department of Justice chose Florida to have this case tried in rather than in Washington, but it might be that they're confident of their case, and so they don't care where it is.
They could be so confident that they decided to bring it here in South Florida, where the former president lives much of the year at his Mar-a-Lago estate. But more importantly, Bill, the government prefers to charge criminal conduct where that alleged conduct occurred. And so here the special counsel believes that conduct took place in West Palm Beach at the former president's estate, where more than 300 documents with classified markings were found, and where the special counsel also appears to believe the former president tried to interfere with the investigation to retrieve those documents.
Many of Mr. Trump's supporters, we hear it tonight already, say, hey, why didn't Biden and Pence, who did the same thing, they had documents, confidential documents, that they took home, why didn't they get charged with something as well?
Well, maybe they will, but in all likelihood they will not, because here the case seems to center on a scale that's much different, but also on the part to potentially obstruct the investigation. And whether Trump did that on his own or it was part of a conspiracy, we'll see when the full indictment is unsealed. But there does appear to be a belief by the special counsel, Bill, that former President Trump not only hung on to these records when he wasn't supposed to, but actively tried to participate in preventing the government from getting back its own documents.
Mr. Trump has criticized the so-called weaponization of the DOJ and the FBI against him. You know, he's fundraising already. He's already sent out an email and something on social media saying, we need money to help us defend ourselves.
Far from shying away from these criminal charges as other ordinary defendants might, he is leaning right into them, Bill. And in fact, the criminal charges, whether they're the ones here in Miami or the ones back in New York by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, they have become the centerpiece of the former president's political campaign as he seeks the White House again. And he has cast himself as the candidate of the people's retribution, who's going to get back at all of these entities that, as he says, are conducting these witch hunts against him. Whether that's a successful message as he campaigns for president is something that we'll have to see. The American people will have to decide for themselves when they see these charges how that squares with their belief in someone who wants to be president. And we're told, Bill, that the special counsel is going to lay this out in what's known as a speaking indictment. It won't be just bare bones listing of charges, but rather the full rationale. And we're told to expect the American people to be able to see what the special counsel believes Trump did.
Specifically, very specifically. Aaron Katersky, reporting from Miami for us tonight. Aaron, thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you, Bill.